This world is like a coin. It never promised to be easy. It can be a cruel, harsh, and unforgiving place where people are faced with stress, loss, injustice, guilt, and worst of them all, ourselves. But at the same time, it can have the most beautiful pieces of music, the most breathtaking landscapes, the most peaceful nights, and some of the most inspiring people. And like flipping a coin, there's no way to truly say what's going to happen throughout someone's life. Some days may be sunny, some rainy, some windy, some hot or cold, and sometimes all of them together. But you can't say you correctly predicted something until the day you see it happen, so rather than worry about the things we have little influence over, why don't we just take in the good around us? Well, putting aside the fact as to whether that was a good question or not, let's just talk about anime. With the spring 2025 season starting up, I'm actually watching 7 less anime than I usually do. This included anime like Lazarus, a worldwide anime about finding a cure for drugs, some sequels and harem animes that are stupidly well animated. But there's one anime that came out this season seemingly unnoticed because it's seemingly just some slice of life show that's seemingly no different from everything else coming out, but this random slice of life has so much more life into it, especially in times like now for many people. An anime about exploring and finding inspiration in it, showcasing the beauty that's around us if we just take the time to look. Essentially, this is an anime about touching grass, yeah. Zatsu Tabi, or That's Journey, an anime that starts with Suzuka Morichika, an upcoming mangaka. Though she already has some achievements under her belt, all her current storyboards keep getting rejected despite her efforts. She's exhausted and is starting to lose grasp of what she all does this for. At her lowest, she realizes that she too wants to go out on journey. So she kinda just decides to take a break from her storyboards and look around Japan in hopes of some inspiration to get her back on track. So she heads north into a small town called Aizu, and after resting up, she goes out to explore. Not too long later, she sees a sign that there's some kind of shrine, a 1,255-step mountain hike ahead. She decides to give it a shot and pushes herself to make it all the way up, hoping that whatever she's looking for is at the top. Of course, this wasn't anywhere close to easy for her, but she keeps pushing through it despite, well, going through all 5 stages of fatigue. However, at last, she finally ascends that 1,255th step just to finally see the scenery that's just trees. For a second, she's upset that after all this time, there was no such reward. How could she find what she was looking for if it was all covered by trees? But then she realizes and laughs. This is what she was looking for. It was all for this one feeling. That was just the first episode, but that was all I needed for this to become one of my favorite animes of all time. Now, of course, if I'm going to talk about an anime that's literally about going outside, I should also probably get out. I'm sure it's a nice day out, right, future me? This should have been probably by far the worst idea I've ever had in 2 years.
And it was, by far. One of, if not my biggest joy, is exploring. I've always just found it really entertaining, and I really enjoy just moving around until I get lost and then trying to find a different way back just for the fun of seeing new surroundings.
From random towns to long and wide fields to actual mountains, I've just always found it so surreal to see a place and then actually make the journey to it. To that end, I blame open world games, and Genshin Impact in particular, but regardless of its origins, the feeling I get from it is special.
It's a feeling of discovering and excitement, filled with adrenaline because, well, current situations, but it's also the most calm my mind will ever be at the same time.
Now, of course, I'm not some struggling mangaka, but I did kind of live through COVID-19 about half a decade ago, and that pushed me to explore and make decisions I still see the effects of even today. Hell, this whole channel is one of those things I decided I'd do during that time, and it's been a rocky road, but here we are.
That's why this anime feels so right for me, because it feels like something I did at that time just without going outside. Hence the current situation.
But this isn't some interpretation limited only to me, because you've already done the same. Maybe you're struggling and you need to explore and make a decision that may change the direction of your life. Or maybe you've already made that choice, and if you have, you'll know right away what it was. And even now, you still see exactly what changed around you. Regardless, it's probably been a rocky road, but here you are. Another thing about this anime that I really like is that it's based on an actual mangaka, Ishizaka Kenta, who did this exact same thing, struggling, traveling, seeing the world around him, and learning from those experiences. The stills in this anime look beautiful, detailed, and strangely realistic because these actually do exist. It's funny because, of course, it's based on a real person. This is just life. It's a randomly difficult, randomly simple, randomly disgusting, while also a randomly beautiful amount of time, where how we spend it is unique to every single one of us. That's why it's a journey. Oh crap, I'm supposed to be talking about anime. Zatsu Tabi is the kind of anime you don't need to make all flashy, because the core part of this anime is to explore, to see the world around you, going from almost anywhere to anywhere, meeting almost anyone to any who, and doing things that you never would have done otherwise. To me, this isn't an anime about exploring Japan. It's about finding yourself through what's around you, trying out new things, learning from those things, and making difficult decisions that now, or later, you'll realize were the turning points in your life. Zatsu Tabi is one of my favorite animes because of how down to earth it feels, as it seems to be able to embody all of this just as is. Simply, Zatsu Tabi was never just about exploring what's around you. It's about life. Anyway, that's all I really had to say about this show. It's kind of crazy. This is the first, first only like 2 weeks I've taken to upload a video in like 2 years. So hopefully we'll get more of that this year, but we'll see. I'm gonna have to lock in, but yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want. And as always, that's all. Bye.